What's up, guys, and welcome to the Isn't It Crazy podcast. Today I have my second interview. I guess you could say. His name is Ralph, and
Hey, Rudy.
yeah,
Glad to be here. Thanks for welcoming me.
yeah. Thank you for coming.
Sure,
It's
sure.
it's pretty cool to have like people here and be like, "Oh, you want to be a guest? Sure, come inside, and we could talk about pretty much anything."
For sure, man. Your brand is all over my Facebook page.
Sorry, I feel like I'm spamming people when I do that.
Oh no, I think that's what you're supposed to do when you have
Yeah,
something that you're working on, and it never hurts to share, and you never know which people you're gonna help out on the way.
yeah. That's what like I never know who's actually listening to this. I wish you could see who's watching it. Like you know how Instagram stories they show you like this person's watching this and stuff like that, but YouTube doesn't do that or Facebook. So
Yeah, which is fine. I think from the engagement that you're gonna have on these episodes,
mhm.
you're gonna tell which people are really going to uh, affect.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so when I get like feedback from somebody and they're like, "Oh, I watched like a segment of your show and I thought this was cool." Like it's kind of gratifying, you know? Like you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm not doing this no for nothing," you know? Yeah, which is pretty dope. So you said you have a podcast yourself, right?
Yeah. So podcast is called the Ralph Benedict Experience,
Okay.
and your viewers, your
Mhm.
listeners can definitely check it out if they want to. It's they can find it on whatever they get the podcast. Well, except I think YouTube. I'm on Spotify,
Okay.
Google, Apple Podcasts,
Okay.
and those are usually where they can find me.
See, I need you to teach me how to do that
Oh, for
because I'm
sure.
more on
Yeah.
on YouTube and Facebook than anything else. So
Yeah.
I definitely need to learn how to get on Spotify. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, so I think what you're doing is really great because YouTube is and Facebook are free platforms.
Hmm.
The ones I mentioned, they we don't you don't I don't upload it directly into YouTube or Facebook. So
Yeah.
I use a subscription that kind of like a podcast host.
So like you podcast or
I upload the
yeah,
podcast
yeah, yeah.
into this host.
Hmm.
It's called Libsyn, the one that I use.
Yeah.
And it distributes it to all these different platforms.
I've heard about these things. It's like um I don't remember the one I got told, but it pretty much you send the file and it sends it to everything that you yeah,
Yeah,
it has
it's like a one
presets and
click.
stuff like that.
Uh-huh,
That's
yeah.
pretty
So
cool.
it's not so the what I pay for that is really the host, and it's just a matter of applying it's like an application to
Hmm.
have your podcasts
Yeah.
in Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts. So that's all really I'm paying for this.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's just like a kind of like a one-stop shop kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
Okay.
you just, on the screen you choose which platforms you want your
Okay.
podcast to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Ralph Benedict Experience. Did you get like inspiration from Joe Rogan's experience?
That's what I always
That's
what
what you
people always
get.
tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you get
Yeah.
from the Joe Rogan Experience? I looked it up, and I just thought the word experience really is a broad, and it really is a broad encompassing word for what my life experiences would be.
Okay.
Um, and the Joe Rogan Experience isn't the only podcast with the word experience on it.
Yeah, and I
So there's a
noticed that.
few of
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
it just happens to be the most successful, popular
It's huge.
podcast
It
with
is.
experience on it.
That's
Yeah.
what started me on podcasts.
Oh,
I would,
seriously?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's pretty cool. I mean, there's one that's called the Joe Rogan Experience. Like they
I haven't heard
double
that one.
named it, and I was
Really?
like, oh, okay, it's an interesting name. But I mean, if you're comfortable with that name, that's a pretty cool name. I like it. I thought about naming it the Rudy Experience
Oh,
because
seriously? Yeah.
Joe
Wow.
Rogan was one of like my inspirations to
Yeah.
start. Like I would listen to him all the time because this thing is like he runs it for like 3 hours, which is insane. And at work, you're not doing anything, so you start listening to that, and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Like I wanna do that and just talk to my friends or anybody interesting that comes into my studio or whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
That's
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah, so definitely check them out. If so, you said Spotify and
Yeah. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts.
Google has podcasts.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit.
For those who have Androids and those that don't have access to
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we should, really work on having your podcasts on these platforms because that's where I believe people who are into podcasts, like these communities, are
Hmm.
already there, and all you have to
Yeah.
do is just access them.
Yeah. Usually, I mean, it takes so much time editing
I
one
know.
video, you know? Like I have two videos that are on backup right now that I have to edit, and it just like takes forever to get them out. But I think if it's just audio, once I edit the audio, I should just shoot it out there, you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think it's I mean, I don't do a video, but I
Hmm.
think it would be a little more. You're working with visual, you're working with audio, with
Yeah.
clips. I think for audio, I thought it would be easier for me since it's just pretty much one track, and you can edit or take out some of the ums or
Yeah.
pauses.
When you don't know what to say, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that way your audience really just gets the gist of what you're trying to say.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot, actually. So you teach me that, and I'll teach you how to
Yeah,
shoot
this
the
video,
videos. Yeah.
look, just the studio. This is professional looking.
Okay.
I was
Thank
so
you.
surprised. I guess your the crispiness of the video and
Hmm.
LEDs and this whole setup
I
re-
tried.
really personalized,
Yeah.
and people can really understand, who they're watching and what they're in for when they tune into this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I thought like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go all out. You know, like I'm gonna try my best, and it takes a lot of research and stuff like that. More research than money. I guess there's some money that goes into it, but you got to research like what lights to buy, what microphones to buy. You know, all of
Yeah,
this took me hours to figure out because nobody knows how to start a podcast, but it's kind of simple. You get a microphone, you get a computer, and you just talk.
yeah,
Yeah. But if you want to make it look good or at least halfway decent, then
yeah.
you got to look into it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think what you've done is you've really put your personality and your individuality
Yeah.
into this podcast, which
Yeah.
with a bunch of people out there creating their own podcasts or having their own thing, it's your style is really what differentiates you.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you watch it, and I'm glad you reached out because a lot of people say like I'm gonna be on, and I'm like, all right, come on in, and they're like, oh no, I got something going on, I can't do it today or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. So other than podcasting, what do you do? Like, what do you
Oh
like
yeah.
to do?
What I like to do, so I do view podcasting as a hobby kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Other than the podcast, I guess work and
Same.
my girlfriend.
Okay.
I think, are you in a relationship also?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a picture up there, but I broke the frame.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because I was moving that and the frame fell and it was like just glass and it broke. But yeah, yeah, I got a girlfriend.
Yeah, so
Almost
that
two
too.
years now.
2 months. Oh wow, man.
Yeah, they take a lot of time to. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I I take a lot of time myself just to learn how it is to become better every day in my relationships.
that's
Right.
pretty good.
Right. So
Yeah,
yeah, I guess I try to read self-help books with relationships and I guess finances because hey, everybody our age is trying to figure out what they want to do and how much they want to save,
yeah.
what their goals are.
Hmm.
So yeah, those kind of thing.
I find a lot of people don't save at all, which
Oh
is kind
yeah,
of scary. Like you're like, oh, you don't plan.
you don't plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's scary. I mean, you need to have something to fall back on it, even if it's $500. I'm not saying you have to have tens of thousands of dollars in
Yeah,
the bank.
funny that you mentioned that
Yeah,
because I don't know if you ever heard of Dave Ramsey.
no.
He's a financial guy. He's pretty well known in the financial space, and he does introduce his baby steps kind of thing. And it's the first step is to save at least $500
Yeah.
as an emergency fund.
Yeah, the 500 figure, I heard some like stat that's like 60% of Americans don't even have that, which
Wow.
is well, some people are living paycheck to paycheck, and so I understand that because this summer I stopped working, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
once the money ran out, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get another job, right? So I got like a regular job in the
Yep.
morning, and it wasn't paying enough, and I'm going paycheck to paycheck, like my car notes due and stuff like that, and you just can't afford things sometimes, you know?
I know. I
Yeah.
know.
So
Uh, So I guess maybe your listeners would appreciate checking out, I guess, some other self-help
Yeah.
teachers or for finances, and that's like the first step. First step is or 500, and that should be a conscious goal for people,
Yeah.
right?
Just like maybe $20 every paycheck or something. Put it in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like you said, people living paycheck to paycheck, and I
That's
think
rough.
that's rough. I think that's the goal is to get out of that series because it just becomes a domino effect, and sometimes it becomes inhibiting on what you really want to do and what you really want to have if your lifestyle if you're not if you're still living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess Dave Ramsey's a good place to start. Susie Orman.
And these are books that you could get like on Amazon.
Yeah. Actually, if your listeners or viewers are already on YouTube, they can just YouTube Dave
Oh,
Ramsey
he has
or
like a
Susie
YouTube.
Orman. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's pretty good.
And I
That's
think
pretty cool.
his daughter is also a big financial professional and has a big influence in the space.
Yeah, I was listening to one guy and he was making a lot of sense. And then he's like, "Oh, so if you're selling houses," I was like, "Wait, what? Like you're talking about real estate here?" Like
Oh
I had
yeah.
listened to him for like 45 minutes, and the whole time he's talking about buying a house. So I was like, "Okay." No, I
Yeah.
thought this was more like financial things, but he was trying to sell you on selling a house. So he's like, wake up
Oh.
early, make these calls, and I was like, what does that mean? But he was
Okay.
talking about getting back to clients and the houses and stuff like that. So I was like, I should probably do more homework on who I'm
Yeah.
listening to. Yeah, but I'll definitely check. What's his name? Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey
Okay.
and Susie Orman. Those kind of people, those are good places to start.
Yeah,
But eventually, I think people will tailor what they've learned into their own lifestyle.
yeah,
Some of the things you may not agree on what their suggestion, because these are very basic and the fundamentals are very extreme.
okay,
What I would say.
that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? You can't
Yeah,
just.
gotta start somewhere, even if it's a small step. Not just in finances, but your relationships, your goals, education.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny that you say like you try to become better at your relationship. What does that entail? Because like I'm curious about that. Because like I feel like my stuff is on cruise control.
Cruise control.
Like-
But you must be a natural then.
Well, maybe, but like I'm not here. Like I just think like if she's happy, then I'm happy. But maybe I'm messing up somewhere.
Oh,
there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah. So have you read the book, The Five Love Languages? There's like those five different languages. So basically, the premise of the book, it's written by I think a former marriage counselor,
Okay.
and his name was Gary Chapman, and his point is he simplified it where there's five different love languages that people receive and give love differently.
okay,
So basically when we have our significant others, you want to understand really what they appreciate and what it means for them to feel loved,
oh wow,
right? So I guess one of my top out of the five for me, because there's a quiz online after I read the book. It's like a very thin book, maybe like 100-page book.
okay.
Um,
That sounds like a
online.
lot of pages for me, but
Yeah. It's like maybe like a day or like a week. Maybe if you're very consistent, you
Sure.
probably finish it pretty quickly. So my top language I would say is probably physical touch and quality time. Right.
Yeah.
There's other ones. There's like receiving gifts, which is I think my top my significant other's top two.
Okay.
Receiving gift and quality time. I think there's other ones too, like acts of service.
Okay.
And I'm forgetting the last one. But really, it's just really how the book walks you through how these type of people with these love languages really appreciates how they would feel they love. Because
Oh, wow.
If you say someone, words of confirmation, words of affirmation is the last one. So there's words of affirmation, physical touch,
Yep.
quality time, receiving gifts, and acts of service. So if you start giving flowers every single day for your girlfriend,
Yeah.
but their love language is actually quality time and not receiving gifts.
They're not gonna value it as much.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Yeah, so just if you want to take your quiz and
Yeah, I want to
let
read
you
that book now.
yeah, so like let your audience know about it.
Yeah.
I think that would be that's one way.
So that's called the Five Languages of Love.
Yeah, the five love languages.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds like a pretty interesting book.
there might be like a free PDF book or like an audiobook somewhere already
Yeah.
available.
Yeah, I love anything audio. I love because I'm working at my job and I can have my headphones on. Usually I put it on just to like drown out any other noise and just kind of
Yeah,
focus on what I'm doing. So anything like that is perfect. If I could find it on audio, I'll definitely listen to it. But if not, I'll read it because I feel like you know
but
how I said like I'm on cruise control.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe I should try a little harder and see where she's coming from. Like.
yeah, and you
But
can
the,
could take it together. Like I
yeah.
said, my
Oh, you
girlfriend and
took it with
I.
your girlfriend?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we kind of know what we like to do. So even though I know this, I feel like I'm still not as involved
Yeah.
in meeting
Her
her
needs.
language. Yeah,
Oh,
her
okay,
needs
okay.
and her
Yeah.
love language. Yeah,
Well, I mean, all you can do is try, right?
yeah, yeah. So that's wouldn't hurt to try.
That's dope. So you read a lot of books, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been, but these are like the fundamentals that I've read in the past.
Okay. That's pretty cool. So you went to Maine West?
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
graduated
Okay.
in 2013, and you also went to Maine
11.
West 2011.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
So we were two years apart,
2 years
right?
apart.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't gone back since.
You haven't gotten back since?
No.
I think I went back like the first homecoming after I graduated,
Oh yeah.
and
Like the homecoming game or something like that.
yeah, homecoming game or like the assembly. I went one time. Just the first and the last time I went, and
Yeah.
my brother graduated a couple of years after me as well. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So how many brothers do you have? Just
just one. He was the president of the student body.
oh wow.
I know he's doing bigger things than I did.
I remember the student president did not like me at all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember who it was
It
anymore.
was for mine. It was this kid named Chirag, something like
Yeah,
that.
Shirag. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he did
I
like.
remember
Well,
him.
I made fun of him because of it. I was like, "You're running for student president." He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." I'm like, "What is that? What do you do? Is that just a popularity contest or something?" But if you're involved in like after school events and stuff like that, they do plan homecoming and stuff like that, so they get a say in what the themes are gonna be. I didn't know that at the time, so when I
Oh
started
yeah.
making fun of him, I was just being ignorant, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but probably he wanted to also practice his leadership, and it looks really good on college resumes.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh wow.
because they think like you're able to lead others and plan for things bigger than just yourself. So
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the things
Yeah.
people might
See,
do it
I had no clue
at
what
that
that
time. I
was.
mean,
Yeah.
who knew? We were 14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
18-year-olds, and it's tough. Even I feel like I don't know what to do at 24.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you got to figure out. I feel like in life, you have to do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, you can't conform to what anybody wants you to do. Like, if you're not happy, what's the point? I've had friends that became doctors just because their parents like made them go become doctors. And I was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And they're like, "I don't know. I don't want to do this. It's not my passion. I don't wake up every morning being like, I want to become a doctor." And that's scary because if your doctor doesn't want to be a
Uh-huh.
doctor, he's not gonna try. So I was like, "Don't do that." He's like, "Dude, my dad paid for everything, and he feels like he owes them something, so he became a doctor." And it's like, if you're not gonna follow you only live once. And like I was listening to Bill Gates talk, and he said, time is a graphite or a finite thing. Like
A finite
there's
resource.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's no more of it. You can't make any more. You only have what you have. And if you're gonna spend your time being miserable, you're screwed already.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah, I think happiness is a really touchy topic for me too. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm on the same boat as what your friend
Okay.
was doing. I'm
Yeah.
not a doctor. I'm also in the medical field, but
Okay.
uh, it does have kind of that ring to it, where you feel kind of obligated, and at sometimes the stress kind of gets to you,
Mhm.
and not sure if it's worth it, and you kind of look at different avenues to see which it is that you really want to pursue, and
Yeah.
um, yeah. So basically, yeah, you can't teach someone to be happy is what
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. So
Well, if I learned anything is that you'll never achieve true happiness,
oh yeah,
because that's something that like for some reason like I wanted a car, right? Like
okay,
so I had a really crappy car my college years, so I was like, I need a better car. Like that was my one goal, and I was like, when I have that car, I'm gonna be happy. I got the car, and then like for the first year, I was like, oh my god, I have this car, and it's great. And then like you get used to that. You get used to what you
yeah.
have, so you're like, oh, it's just a car. To me, it's a car. Somebody could say like you have a nice car, but to me, it's just my regular car.
It's
So
like that. It's like that hedonic effect, where people have this level of certain level of happiness,
mhm.
and then it just cycles back into that level of happiness, no matter how content you are, or how, like,
Y-
if there's something external that makes you more happy or more sad,
mhm.
like eventually you're gonna reach this certain point again,
Yeah.
where that's your hedonic level, right?
So that's your regular
Yeah,
happiness level.
that's your own persona. That's what your personality is.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it's I think it's called hedonic effect. Hedonic.
Okay.
I think I learned that sometime in psychology. I was in college, and it's pretty interesting because I feel like that's true, or maybe it's not. So yeah,
Well, I mean, I believe it
you
a
believe it?
hundred
Yeah.
percent. Yeah, because like there's certain goals in my life that I thought I was gonna be happier when I would reach
Right.
them, and once I got there, I was like, oh, okay, this just becomes a normality. And then you're looking at something else, and not material, but like maybe you fix something with your dad, or you fix something with your sister, or something like that, and you're like, okay, now we're good, we're gonna be happy, but it usually just feels normal after that. Then you're looking
Yeah.
at another thing that might make you happy. So you're never gonna reach true happiness, but if you stick to your values and stuff like that, I feel like you can achieve like a state of calm where you're not worried about bills or you're not worried about your relationships and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. But
like that's what I say everybody should go for, because we're only here for what, 70 years if we're lucky?
yeah.
If we're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think it's more of I think that happiness is the thing we should be striving for
Every day. Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
I was watching this TED talk, and it was about this woman who's into about how people should meditate more. But really, I think the gist of her TED talk was happiness is intrinsic,
Hmm.
and because happiness is an emotion,
Okay.
and emotion is inside of us.
Yeah.
So anything external uh, shouldn't really affect what's internal, because it's coming from inside. So I think that's what
Oh.
happiness is.
Yeah.
So it has to come from within you. So if you have, like you said, like materialistic things, or
Yeah.
something bad happened at work, or some, your bills are due, again, these are all external things. It's really how we react
Yeah.
to
Towards what the
what has
externals.
happened.
Okay.
And I think, like, I agree with you said, it's something that we should strive for every day, but it's also how it's a conscious thing that we have to think about, um, our reactions to these external things.
That's pretty cool. Have you ever meditated? I tried it once and I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
I feel like I have ADHD.
ADHD
Yeah, which
meditated.
I'm like, I'm not even paying attention. I'm just like, you're supposed to be focusing. And you're like, I can't. No, there's like the sounds or something. I'm like thinking about something I'm gonna do throughout the day, but you're supposed to be thinking about nothing, right? Isn't it like a state
Yeah,
of
it's like
like
it was. Man, I'm not really in. I'm not.
you've never tried it?
I'm not sure if you consider this meditating or not. I think I
Yeah.
went to this. I forget what it's called, but it's we worked on like breathing and things,
Okay.
and some relaxation, like yoga, youth yoga. I went to yoga.
Okay. I've never done
Yoga
yoga.
before.
No.
Yeah, I think at the very end you do like these relaxation, and I think it's yoga. I forgot what it's called, but also in yoga, you at the end you do relaxations and breathing techniques,
Okay.
and the room is dark. You're in your
Oh
yoga
wow.
mats with the class, and you talk about breathing, and um, it's like deep breathing. Like you inhale and exhale within like 8 seconds or 10 seconds. It's like really long. And this is after you do all your stretches,
Okay.
right?
So it's like
So
kind of like a cool down kind of thing.
yeah, it's the cool down part. I
Yeah.
think in a way, maybe some people might think that's a form of meditation, right? I guess
Yeah.
it's different for everybody,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because I've heard like people working out as a meditation. They're like, I
Yeah.
need to go think about things. I'm gonna go work out. It's like, what?
Yeah, I think it's when you're in the zone.
Yeah, probably. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think better when I'm not lifting 60
Lifting
pounds. Yeah, because I'm just focused on the 60 pounds I'm gonna drop if I don't keep lifting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So, do you do any like sports or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not physically involved or active, but I guess basketball is the sports that I follow, like the
Okay.
NBA,
Oh,
or
So you
I
don't
follow. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not actively. I mean, I
like a pickup
recreationally
game? Yeah,
to,
like
to play with
sure.
friends
Uh-huh.
and at the gym or at the park.
Yeah.
And well, it's going to be winter soon, so I haven't been outside or going to park. Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
it's getting cold. So you just follow the NBA.
Yeah, I just follow the NBA. I'm not part of a sports league. If that's what I'm not part of like a league to play basketball. If that's
Yeah,
what
I
you're
saw
asking.
that was my initial
Oh,
question. Like,
question.
are you like, do you play basketball or soccer?
I don't feel like I'm good enough to be part of a team.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if that's the point of someone being part of a team is to get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just some of the men are intimidating and pretty big.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I have a short stature
Mhm.
and
Yeah, how
yeah.
tall are you? You're five.
I'm like 5'4", I
Okay.
think. Yeah, on
Yeah.
my driver's license.
That's what it says, 5'4".
Yeah, well, I'm like, yeah, I'm about 5'4". Yeah.
Yeah. See, I grew up with sports, so like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, now I'm not. I don't think it's like. I'll pick up like a pickup game.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like being in a league is kind of silly to me
Really?
at some point.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's not. So I've never been to one or
Yeah.
part of a sports team. Well, like cross country in high school, but
yeah.
it
Same.
seems like
Yeah.
it's more like discipline if you're part of a team.
A team. I mean, it's fun. I think you like. There's a camaraderie
Yeah.
to being in a team, but I think it's silly when they're like posting like, we won this rec trophy. It's like, you're 30. What are you doing? Like, is that like the proudest moment of your life here?
But
Like,
hey, man, we're
Yeah.
just talking about happiness, right?
yeah, if that's their happiness, sure, go ahead. But
Yeah.
like,
Well, I
I
guess
don't know. I don't find. Maybe I just don't find value in a plastic.
in
trophy.
probably just okay. I
Yeah.
think maybe it's fun to talk that you've won as a team a trophy,
the camaraderie.
the camaraderie,
Yeah,
but it's also I guess like the memories and what you learn throughout the entire process, the teamwork, what you've been able to prove, even if it's just amongst people in your community.
yeah.
I think it's how you've overcome obstacles, and everybody has obstacles, and
Yeah.
I think it's everything what that trophy symbolizes.
Mm.
Right?
Maybe, yeah, you probably
Yeah.
got a point.
Yeah.
For me, like, I probably shouldn't be talking shit because every friend I've ever had, I've met because of sports.
Sports?
Yeah. Or I'm sitting in class. That was it.
Cool.
Yeah.
You should have more friends on your podcast about sports and more
Yeah.
segments about it. Yeah.
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 Well, I mean, there's guys that we're at a bar and we'll argue about sports all night long. But the moment I tell them, I'm like, come in, they're like, oh, no, I can't do that in front of a camera.
They're probably busy
Yeah.
doing sports.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
They're
practicing.
probably arguing about it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what would you say is your favorite basketball team right now in the NBA?
Right now?
Saying that you follow that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we live in the Chicago area,
Yeah.
but the Bulls aren't looking very well.
They're 13.
13 right now.
I got that from the list.
from the list.
Yeah.
I guess one of the exciting teams on the league. It's gonna be most of the West Coast teams.
Yeah,
Um,
that's like the harder. They always criticized LeBron for having a cakewalk in the East
Mhm.
because there's not a lot of talent. But yeah, I agree
But
with
this
you.
summer he received some talent as
Oh,
help
yeah.
for this team.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I guess I've been just following the NBA. Just started. We're 5 games into most of the teams have 5 games.
Yeah.
And I think everything that everyone's predicting is coming true regards of the layout of the league and the landscape, how it's fallen into.
Okay.
The Golden State Warriors, they lost
Jesus.
KD,
Yeah.
they lost Steph
Mhm.
and Klay Thompson, so we're entering a different times in the league where the Golden State, I think they're like the bottom 3 on the West or something.
They're last.
They're last.
Yeah, they're
Oh
last, and
wow,
they're like 3-6 right now.
3-6.
Yeah,
Yeah, it feels weird.
yeah.
It's like changes happening, and yeah,
I actually kind of saw that coming.
yeah,
Something like that. Everybody wants money. They could pay a luxury tax for overpaying their players, but at the end of the day, you cannot keep that together. That's why it's
yeah,
so hard to repeat a championship, because after a championship, people want money. And with a
right,
cap, well, it's a soft cap on the NBA, but like it's still kind of hard to give everybody a max deal when you have so much
yeah.
like restrictions on what you can do. Have you ever played that game? Like, I don't know if on Facebook you follow NBA like fan pages. They'll have a game where it's like you have $5 and you can only
Yeah.
pick certain players, and it's like this player's $1, but LeBron's $5.
$5, and you
So
have
it's
like $15,
Yeah.
and there's a whole grid for you have to fill like every position, and
Sure,
sometimes
yeah.
they even have like you have to pick a sixth man part of your $15.
Sure, like
Yeah.
yeah. So like that's what general managers are usually dealing with.
Right.
So when you see a team, people are like, okay, why don't they just stay? Well, other players want to go, like KD. He
Right.
wanted to go with Kyrie and play in the Nets, and the Warriors kind of like fell apart, right? Well,
Right.
injuries too.
Injuries
Yeah,
too, but like the rest of their roster, it just seems like um they're very young rookies
Yeah.
or players that have been in the league for just a couple of years. I watch a Warriors game, I have no idea who's on their team. Like, who is this guy?
Me neither. Yeah, they showed the starting 5, and I had no clue other than D'Angelo.
yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I was like, I have no clue. But something like, I have a feeling that the Warriors they have the greatest scouts in the world, you know, other than they had Jerry West, but he went to the Clippers.
Mhm.
Because Jerry West was the one that came up with this whole team, like Steph Curry and them. But I feel like those rookies, Steph Curry was one of those rookies before, and they have growing pains. So every time you start a new team, you're like, we're going to suck, but we're going to develop these kids. And then eventually we'll get back to where we were, where you had all these killers just
Yeah.
ready to go score.
Yeah.
But I feel like, so I look at the Lakers right now, and they're the first in the league, 7-1.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, they're going to win the championship. And I think there's a lot of hype at the beginning of the season. If LeBron goes down, I don't think AD can carry the whole team. You
Right.
know, and their bench is playing phenomenal right now. They're coming off the bench and they're scoring, and they got Kuzma on the bench, but benches don't typically become consistent throughout the whole season.
Right.
So I don't think the Lakers. I think they're gonna make the playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna win the.
So real quick,
championship.
is it, well, do you have the Lakers or Clippers for those two
I
teams?
say Clippers.
Clippers?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what do you say? Do you think it's the bench of the Clippers that overcomes the Lakers? Because they played once already, and the Clippers did win that contest.
Yeah, they did. I think that's the Lakers' only loss too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I picked the Clippers just because they got better coaching.
Yeah, Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they got a better GM. And in the Lakers, it's mayhem. It's the LeBron show, right? And
Yeah.
everywhere LeBron goes, it's mayhem. So I think at the end of the season, given that there's no injuries, I'd pick the Clippers over them just because they're better coached. They're more focused. I think right now people are getting caught in this hype, like they're winning, you know. But
Yeah.
everything's good when the
Wait,
team's winning.
mhm.
But when they start losing, you're like, okay, like now they suck. Like,
Yeah, and then you start putting blame on people, like why
Mhm.
is LeBron playing small point guard in the first place,
Yeah.
or like why don't you play Rondo? I don't know, like things like that, or
Yeah.
yeah. I also think that after a championship or just a successful season, the value of the players starts to rise, like their stock starts to rise, and other teams are looking to get them and offer them an enticing package. So I think I was also looking at what it really meant for a super max contract. So like I think Curry or John Wall is one of the people in the league that has a super max, maybe Lillard too. But if you look at the finances of that and the roster, that takes up that one player takes up one
Of the
third
whole cap.
of their roster of their
Jesus.
salary for the season. So you've really got to, if your general manager who's working on this, it's a big investment on them, and they're locked up for many years. So you don't have flexibility as a general manager to move players around or get quality players. If you have multiple players, usually it's only one because it takes up one third of the cap.
Yeah, imagine you have 3 on the max.
Yeah,
That's
so
the whole cap right there.
that's the whole team
Yeah.
right there.
Jesus.
So yeah, I didn't know it until I watched the video that like put a pie chart on this, and I'm like, dang, that's a big chunk of their roster's salary this season.
It's hard. I mean,
And John Wall's not been playing.
he hasn't been playing.
He hasn't been playing.
And
He's been
maxed?
injured. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
he's been injured. I think at least a season now. Yeah. So it's really puts teams into constraint.
Imagine the guy who made that call. Like, screw it. Let's give him the whole
Yeah,
bag.
I know. But
And then he gets injured. It's like, how do you tell your boss? Like, you just spent $200 million on a player who's not even gonna play.
who's not even playing right now. So it's a tough call. I guess people decide to do this because of the past performances from the player. But
Mhm.
again, injuries you can never see when they're really going to happen.
Okay, so given that we're talking about like players not playing, how do you feel about Kawhi Leonard's load?
Oh, the load
schedule?
management.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I was
agree with
watching a video about that. I don't. It's so early into the season. I'm not sure if I entirely agree. It was like a matchup. People, fans. I was watching a video on ESPN and they brought up, just think about the fans. If this was the only game that they're going to for the
Yeah.
entire year, what if it was a birthday gift, a present for their kids,
Uh-huh.
and the marquee player
Isn't there?
is not playing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that play into the league's future? About like the league is marketing this product, which is Kawhi Leonard or these marquee matchups,
Yeah.
and people aren't getting what they paid for or what they think they're gonna get,
Yeah.
and it's more of like a game time decision too. So, you have people coming into the arena with Kawhi Leonard jerseys, but he's not gonna be playing.
I've heard the same criticism about LeBron. Yeah, I've heard that where like a kid's like, what if they saved up and then they bought the ticket and then LeBron's not there? That would suck. And I agree with you. It's too early for him to be taking rest. Like,
Yeah,
what are you
usually I
tired
think
of?
we've seen this before with the San Antonio Spurs,
Yeah.
and they've rest players, but that was more towards half of the latter half of the season.
Yeah, and they criticized Popovich for doing
for
that.
resting.
Yeah.
Well, if they're locked in for playoffs anyway, sure, rest them.
Yeah.
But we're 5 games in. We're not even when so
Yeah.
it's like it really depends. Well, I guess their load management defense is that he's had prior medical history and injuries that they'd like to rest up, but I don't think. I mean, I'm sure he could have played that night, but I'm not sure if he's really like detrimental to his health if he did play for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like he's trying to stronghold them. He's trying to say, I'm the boss, not you guys. So I'm going to take a couple days off. Like, you guys don't control me or something like that.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah?
sure.
Is
I honestly don't think he's tired.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
his injury is really holding him back.
Yeah.
I think it's more of
Like a pissing contest or something like
yeah.
Like, he's like looking at the managers like, okay, what are you going to do about this? Kind of. It's
well, I
weird.
hope not, but
Yeah.
but that's what it comes off of. Right? That's what it comes out like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So who do you predict's going to win the whole thing?
The
Given
whole
that you've
thing.
seen 10 games.
Man,
Which is
it's a
kinda
tough
hard.
call. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard to see at 5 games. But I think maybe the Clippers has to be up there.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean they have
I wish I
Kawhi
could
Leonard.
say I wish I could say the Bulls are going to go, but they're not going to
Yeah,
go.
an alternate dimension maybe. Yeah, at this year.
Remember when they used to be good?
Yeah, when we had championship hopes,
Yeah, like they were in the
just
Eastern Conference
Eastern
every
Conference.
time.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish they could have done that now that LeBron's not on this side
Mm,
of the thing, but
yeah.
they could just never get past LeBron.
I know it's like LeBron has this like intimidation towards the Bulls players. Like
Everybody in the East, I feel
everybody,
like,
yeah,
yeah, like you're like thinking like, oh, I gotta get past LeBron, and
yeah, and they never do.
no.
It's like they're gonna. It's like they feel like LeBron is gonna get mad at them for beating them. You know?
I actually, the first time I saw the Bulls go to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think I was like, this was years ago.
Yeah. Huh?
I think I was still in high school, and my dad took me to beat-ups to watch it. And I remember I cried on the way home because I was just so mad that we couldn't fucking beat them.
LeBron, yeah.
Yeah, like I was so emotionally like into the Bulls, and yeah, like I was just like, I hate LeBron. If I ever see him, I'm not gonna talk to him. Like, I hate him for, and it was just a silly like boy thing that I had to get over. But
But
you,
imagine if LeBron went to Chicago for that one free agency period.
yeah, they were courting him. They're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
imagine what would have played out if that happened. And I think they were so close to forming a super team in Chicago.
I think we would have won at least two
At least two
championships.
championships.
Yeah.
Like what happened in Miami would have happened in
Yeah,
Chicago.
yeah, because we had
I
Derrick
know.
Rose, we had
Like
Joakim
Joakim
Noah,
Noah. Yeah.
we had Carlos Boozer, and
I think we wouldn't have Carlos Boozer if he had come.
oh,
Right.
because he came from Miami, didn't he? Or he
Carlos
came
Boozer
from-
came from Utah, but he was the consolation prize after LeBron said he's gonna go to Miami,
Oh wow!
and then they went for Carlos Boozer. Yeah,
I remember they tried to court Melo too.
yeah,
Yeah, there was a game where they had Melo, I know Bulls jersey, in the screens, and
Uh-huh.
everybody's like, he's coming here. And Melo, that's a train wreck story right there.
Right now, he's not even in the league.
No, well, he's old. I think he's
Yeah.
retired.
He's retired, and
I-
he's not like a LeBron player.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, unless he's like a LeBron-esque kind of player,
Uh huh.
nobody's gonna pick you up. Like
Right.
LeBron changes things.
Yeah,
Melo just maybe adds a 3-point shot, and not even that sometimes. So, yeah. I mean, if I had to choose a team that could probably win the whole thing, I'd say the Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, like we said, it's really early in the season to predict. But KD's not even playing yet. Can
Once
you
he comes
imagine
back,
KD and
yeah.
Kyrie?
Yeah. I think it's like a 1-2 like they had in Cleveland with
In
LeBron and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Kyrie is a solid number 2. He can't be a number 1. He proved that in Boston.
Right. Right.
So he needs somebody he could trust and be like, this guy's going to score for me. And he has that in KD if fucking gets
That's true. I think.
gets healthier, I guess.
Yeah.
What is the Achilles thing again?
I'm not quite sure at this point. There's been so many injuries since then. Like there was a DeMarcus Cousin injury. I'm not sure about KD. I think it might have been, if I remember, back in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do they have? Because I know DeAndre. What's his name? big
D'Angelo
guy.
Russ.
No, the guy who dunks.
DeAndre Jordan.
There you go.
Yeah.
He sprained his ankle. And
Oh,
he's
yeah?
he's in the Brooklyn Nets. So
Yeah, he is in Brooklyn Nets. I didn't know he sprained his ankle recently.
yeah. Because I saw this thing like pray for DeAndre Jordan. I was like,
What happened to him?
Tired. Like usually they put that stuff like. Did you ever see that college game where the kid jumped up to
And-
get like and his bone
His bone.
came out?
Yeah.
And everybody's like-
I think Kevin Ware or something his name.
I can't.
But usually if it's like pray for someone, it's like
It's
a very horrific
Yeah,
injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
the Gordon Hayward injury or the Paul
Yeah.
George. Yeah.
Well, Gordon Hayward's injured again.
Yeah, his was it like his hand or wrist?
Yeah, his wrist. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Man, the guy can't catch a break after Utah. He left.
Jesus.
He's a great
And
player.
that was like their like hope, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because once Kyrie leaves, I mean Boston's doing great right now. I think
Yeah.
they're second in the Eastern Conference. Jason Tatum,
Yeah.
he's
I think,
playing. Yeah,
yep.
he's playing okay. And what's the other guy?
Jaylen Brown. Is that Jaylen Brown? Kemba
Jaylen-
Walker.
No, Kendall Walker's on the Wizards.
Kemba.
Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker.
He's in Boston.
Yeah, he's in Boston
Oh,
right now.
shit.
He's the replacement for
To
for
Kyrie. That's funny because he's kind of similar to him, but Kyrie is a point guard,
Yeah.
and he has to facilitate. So I think when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets, it works.
Works.
It just works. Like he's gonna give KD the ball, just like Steph gave the ball. Obviously, the Warriors had way more shooters than the Nets do. and they have Green, the Warriors.
Oh yeah,
had
the Draymond Green. Yeah,
Draymond Green, who is like a force in the
yeah. He has all
paint.
the intangibles too, like the leadership, the defensive IQ.
Yeah,
Draymond Green, and yeah, a little bit liability on the offense, but for
yeah,
everything else, he does make an impact when those players are all together on the floor.
yeah. I mean, you kind of need him for you need. Well, you could say Steph is like a liability for the defense.
Right. Yeah.
So you need
Some
it balance it out. Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
That's he could be a general manager tomorrow.
I cannot. I would pick
If
the
audience-
worst. I think the only general manager position I could take is like baseball
Baseball.
because they don't have a cap.
Oh yeah.
Like look at the Yankees. They spent what $200 million on one season.
So then you can have all the best players on the same team.
Yeah, yeah. They could do, and they did that for so long. That's why they won so many titles.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but like I said, sometimes people don't want to play there. Sometimes other teams give you way more money than that team. Like the Yankees got, I think the Yankees got cocky where they're like, we're the Yankees. Like you're gonna take this,
Ah.
and then the guy's like, no, well this team's giving me more, so I'm just gonna go there. Like
Sure, yeah.
baseball's baseball anywhere, you know. Yeah, I might have a better chance of winning a championship with you, but at the end of the day, I feel like these players now are thinking about their financial future, so they're not just going to like a championship where like Tom Brady takes a pay cut or LeBron takes a pay cut. These guys are like, I want the most money I could get
Sure,
because if
yeah.
I get injured, you're gonna cut me anyways.
Right. So do
Yeah.
you feel bad? Do you have some kind of feeling against players who may use that as leverage to get more money, or do you also blame like the organization? Because it seems like all of these are more like a business transaction. Like if someone gets cut, like how did you feel as a Chicago Bulls fan when Derrick Rose was let go from the Bulls? Right. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like where do you see the player and what's best for the player versus what's best for the team?
Yeah.
Future.
I think I'm with the players. Obviously,
Uh-huh.
if I was working for an organization, I'd be with the organization.
Uh-huh.
But the player, like this league, the leagues could cut you whenever they want. Look at Antonio Brown. He's not even
Right.
playing anymore. And they owed him, what, $20 million? Granted, there was like allegations and stuff like that. And nobody wants to be involved with that. But like, say a player like Derrick Rose, right? He had already gotten his contract.
Okay.
He got a $200 million from Adidas, and then I think he had like 90 from the Bulls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was set. But like, say a player that is good but gets injured before he gets that big contract, you know, what does he do now? Like injuries for me are like a snowball effect. You get injured once, it's just gonna keep fucking happening.
Right. Right.
Like Derrick Rose got injured, Howard got injured. It's just gonna get, that's why I look at LeBron. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get injured again. You know, he's old as shit.
Uh-huh.
It might happen again. But so I'm with the players 100%.
All right.
Get your money.
Right.
Get as much money as you can.
Yeah, because you're not going to be in the league for so long.
Yeah.
And like you said about Bill Gates, circling back,
yeah,
your time is a finite resource, and
yeah,
your health is with that time. You can't be healthy forever.
yeah. And these organizations, they make money hand over fist. It's not like
Right.
you can't feel bad for $1 billion organization. They're not gonna
Yeah.
lose sleep over it. They still have their fan base. One of the biggest fan bases in the world are sports. They're so passionate and dedicated. You could mess up. You could be the Cleveland Browns at 2-7,
Yeah.
and the stadium's packed every single time. People do not care about whether your team's losing or not. It's like a pride thing for you. Like, I love the Bears, and they suck.
Yep. Wow. Did we win a game?
Hopefully, I don't know if we won a game. I stopped watching because like I was so annoyed. I can't watch these games because I'm like
Right.
looking at Mitchell Trubisky not produce at all. There's no
Right.
offense. It's 3 and out every single time, and then the punter comes in. So for me, it's like I still love the Bears. I'm still wanted like them to win and stuff like that. So the organizations are never gonna lose the fan, whether they
Think so?
suck
Yeah.
or they don't. So back to the players.
So
These-
still back to the players.
They need
Yeah.
to, they're sacrificing their bodies.
Their body, their
entertain
time
us.
with their family.
Yeah.
They're probably away during the holidays on some holidays because they're probably playing on a away game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah.
Yeah.
So in general though, just with the players, and you
Yeah.
feel like you're with the players' side, and what's more beneficial for them
Yeah.
when they're picking and choosing their career.
Sure. Yeah. I want them to get the most money. But at the same time, like, I look at it from a point of like, some people are like fanatics. They're like,
Yeah.
why would you leave us and stuff like that? I think about it more like logical. Like, this person is a person. He has a family. He has
That's
to
true.
feed
Yeah.
his family. You would do it the same. You try to get the most money out of your likeness while you're there because it's not gonna last.
Right.
So I say I'm 100% with the players. And see, that's why I can't be a manager, because I'd give them
You,
the check. I'd be like, oh, how much did we make? $1 billion? Cool. You could have like 100 million, dude. Like,
wow. Yeah.
yeah. See, I'm not. My sympathy levels are higher.
So it's not like this person, just regular person is making millions already.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think they can just suck it up and just wait for the team, or just
If they want to win, that's a personal decision. If
right?
you look at
Okay.
like Tom, Tom usually takes a pay cut so they could get the best players and then
Just
win a
around him.
championship.
Mhm.
But Tom's wife also makes $300 million.
Oh
So
yeah. What does she do?
she's a model.
Oh oh
Giselle. Yeah.
oh yeah yeah yeah.
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 So she's the highest paid model, well, for some years, where to the point where she made $300 million.
Wow.
It's easy for him to take a pay cut, but you're talking to maybe like a 4-year rookie who's looking to get a max contract, who doesn't have a wife with 300 million. Is he going to take a pay cut? No. They hire people that are to maximize their money. So a lot of people won't take pay cuts, and a lot of people have people around them that are going to tell them, don't take a pay cut.
Yeah, even I wouldn't take a pay cut. My
No,
job.
nobody
No.
would. I would not.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what if you were at work and they're like, "Oh, take a pay cut and we'll give you better equipment." You'd be like, "What? No, like,
Yeah.
give me my
Like
money. Like, give me my worth."
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I deserve that pay cut, and you deserve, and you're supposed to give me good equipment to work with.
Yeah, to start with, like,
Yeah. To start. Yeah.
what kind of show are we running here?
exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess like I could see now exactly like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't feel bad for the organizations at all. These guys make
Right.
their money regardless. So I'd be with the players, on the player side.
Player side, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. More for the NFL than anything, because
Oh
like
yeah.
the
Oh yeah,
average,
because
the average is like 3. Jesus, who keeps sending me messages here? Oh, the average is 3 years, and then they're out.
you mean the entire career span is an average just 3 years
3 years
for a player.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really short.
It's Well,
I mean,
if
you know,
you're taking
for
the average from like Drew Brees and Tom Brady, and you're putting it into it, that's what makes the average high to 3 years.
to 3 years, but it could be someone
It
could be there for 1 year.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
So imagine you have 1 year to make as much money as you can. You're not taking a pay
Yeah,
cut.
because you spent majority of your life, like the latter half of your life as a player,
Mhm.
developing yourself and sacrificing practice,
Yeah.
maintaining your body healthy, and if you haven't been winning games, and because of luck or things just happen by accident, that's unfortunate. A lot of sacrifice just going down the drain.
Yeah. And you're not gonna get paid for it. Like, that's scary.
Yeah, there's
That's a scary
wow,
thing.
that's just now that you say that, it seems like there's a very low return on investments for these players as they develop themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty much saying you're gambling
Exactly.
everything you got,
Mhm.
and some of them are willing to do that because they look at the players who actually made it, and they're like, I want that. And it's a tangible thing. Once you're in the NFL, you believe that you could become Tom Brady, because the hardest part was getting into the NFL. Not everybody achieves that goal, right?
You're right.
But then again, it's still a gamble that they have to take.
All right. So with the record of the Bears as we remember, which team do you think will go to the Super Bowl this
Super
year?
Bowl, I kind of want Tom Brady just to win it again, just because it's so funny watching people call him old. They're like, "You're so old, you can't do it anymore," and somehow he figures it out. But it's either between the Packers or I'd say, mm, yeah, Packers.
Packers.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
really
yeah,
good this year.
been pretty consistent
Yeah,
throughout the past
I
few years.
yeah, I always thought if the Packers could fix their defense, unstoppable. Yeah, but
Have you been to a Packers game? I mean, they're
no,
just like a couple of Green Bay. How far is Green Bay? Just next door.
is
Next
it like 4 hours away?
4 hours.
4 or 6
Yeah.
hours away? Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of far. No, I hate the Packers.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
born and raised a Bears fan.
Bears fan.
Yeah.
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 So I was wondering. It's so unfortunate that the Chicago Soldier Field doesn't have like a roof or any much to cover if there's like snow in the weather.
Yeah. So when just because like Chicago was one of the original teams,
Uh-huh.
they didn't have the technology that they had to
Oh,
build
okay.
the roof on top,
Okay.
and then eventually it just stuck to that. So you see Lambeau Field doesn't
Yeah.
have a roof,
Oh, okay.
and the Packers were one of the first teams to win the Super Bowl, so they started from the beginning. So did Soldier Field, but the Vikings have a roof, and the Lions have a roof.
Okay.
The problem with roofs are, if I don't know if you've seen the video, for the
What happens?
Vikings, the snow got so heavy at the
Oh,
Vikings stadium
wow.
that the roof fell in.
Oh,
But
wow.
that was just like during the week, like it was like a Wednesday night, and the stadium cameras, the security cameras caught that videotape where like piles of snow came
Wow.
down. Imagine that was during a game,
Crazy.
somebody's dying,
Yeah,
which is a
definitely.
risk, right? So now they do have the technology to make these buildings better. They just cost billions of dollars. And when it comes to stadium buildings, the teams aren't paying for it. The taxpayers are.
Wow.
So
Yeah. I heard about that too.
yeah, so like these teams have to go to the city and be like, we're gonna take $1 billion out of your fund to make the stadium, and the cities never make that money back either.
Right.
So they sell them on that. They'll be like, with the taxes you'll be making off the buying or whatever, you're gonna make it back. And they're like, okay, let's give you $2 billion here, make your stadium. And statistically speaking, they never make that money back. So, and given the climate we're in Chicago, where if the mayor ever decided to give a stadium $1 billion, there'd be riots on the street because of the whole CPS thing, the Chicago
Yeah.
Public School Service.
Even
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, like
that's a whole deal on itself.
so
Yeah.
imagine, so you take $1 billion and give it to
Like a sports
a
team.
sports
Yeah,
team, and not the teachers, not your infrastructure, they'd go crazy.
of course. Yeah.
They'd have the mayor's head. So I think Chicago has always been in a pretty bad shape that they'll never put that.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's a very big city, and
Mhm.
you need a lot of finances to keep that up.
Yeah.
Especially, it's a very old city every city needs constantly renovation and
Yeah.
restructuring, not
Yeah.
just architecturally, but the services that the city provides.
Yeah.
And now that you mention it, it's that they don't make that money back from investing in sports teams.
Yeah.
That's fine. You don't have to put a roof over the
Yeah.
over the Soldier
yeah,
Field.
It's
Yeah.
like a non-necessary cost. right now
Besides,
at this
Soldier
point.
Field is like iconic the way it is anyway
Yeah.
already. So, and Chicago's always gonna have a fan base.
Regardless of
We
whether
are a
negative.
big sports city. We have
Mhm.
2 baseball teams,
Yeah.
like a major league team on every league,
Yeah.
right? So
The Blackhawks.
yeah,
Yep. Which is, we even have the girls basketball team, right? The Sky.
yeah. Chicago Sky.
Chicago Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an unnecessary. I wish they did. That'd be nice. I'd go
More
to more
convenient for you and
games.
me. So
Yeah.
you don't have to stay in the cold
Yeah.
and
But if
bear the
I had to
weather.
choose between giving
uh
Chicago Bears
yeah
the
versus
money or the kids,
the rest of the
Chicago,
infrastructure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather give it to Chicago because I think, like, I don't know, like, personally for me, Chicago is one of my favorite cities.
Yeah, have you been to other? I've been to other cities
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Charlotte and St.
Okay.
Louis. Great cities,
Yeah.
but it's nothing like as big or as robust as Chicago.
Have you ever been to New York?
New York as well. It's
Yeah.
those two are major metropolitan.
Yes.
Like if you ever watch any movies with, the scenery, the landscapes, all of that little tiny streets and very close apartments, like
Yeah.
that's what you want, right? Like that's what you imagine it to be,
Yeah.
and you can only find that in these type of cities with their rich architecture. In every corner, you have rich sports history and
Yeah.
fan base and um,
Cultures and
new buildings, all
yeah.
glass buildings, and the tallest skyscrapers in the world are within these two cities, New
Yeah.
York and Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different class, a very world class
I
city.
I love both of them. I think if I ever moved to another city, it'd be New York. I've never been to LA. I heard LA's
Oh yeah,
kind of
the downtown area of LA is it's not
kind of
as
sketchy.
yeah, it's not as big or as what
Okay.
you imagine like a big city would be.
Uh-huh.
But LA is beautiful for its weather and the culture is different there too.
Yeah, 70 degrees every day. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been there. I went
Oh
to
yeah.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
but Atlanta was nice. You just have to valet everything, which
Oh
is
yeah.
weird. Like they're like, I'm like, I'll just park it myself. They're like, no, you'll get robbed. Okay, here,
Oh,
my key.
seriously?
Yeah,
I've never
like
been to Atlanta before, but
everywhere you go, hotels, buildings. I'm surprised they don't do it at the CVS store, but valet everywhere you go. Yeah. We went to like our
wow,
hotel was mandatory. You couldn't park your car yourself. Like they had to take your car.
wow,
Just security reasons or something. And we actually experienced it. Some guy asked my dad for money, like out, like on the street. He's like, "Hey man," and then my dad's like, "No, I don't have cash." And then the guy like followed us, and he's like, "Dude, you better give me money." And my dad's like, "Oh, okay, I'm getting scared now. Like, let's
oh,
go to the restaurant." So we went to the
oh,
restaurant.
jeez.
Yeah, so like I guess maybe the homeless population does harass people at parking lots, so that's why they do that valet. So when people like travel there, it's not such a
And it seems
negative
like every
experience.
city has some like that kind of population. Maybe it was
Of
just
homeless
the
people? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But that seems like it's p- pretty wild.
pretty yeah, well, the
Yeah.
city's not that big, so I'm sure
Uh,
these guys are like, "Okay, maybe this guy's a rapper or something, like, let me get some $100 bills or some shit."
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that we live so close to the city of Chicago and to be able to experience something like this that hopefully other people in other cities can visit us here
yeah,
and see what we have to offer. Chicago has to offer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love Chicago. Like, I used to back in high school, like, we didn't have much to do on the weekends, other than maybe there was a party or something. So we'd go downtown Chicago and just explore. Like, it just costs nothing to go downtown and
Yeah.
just look at, like, the river or go into
River.
buildings and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff there to
There's
explore.
there's neighborhoods now that's been gentrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the neighborhoods that you might have visited in high school might look a little different. Maybe a couple of new Starbucks along the
Okay.
corners.
They're
So,
opening the biggest Starbucks
oh yeah,
in the world in Chicago. Yeah.
wow, I haven't heard
You
that
didn't heard
yet.
that? You
No.
should probably check. I hate Starbucks though.
Yeah.
I took one coffee and it was so gross. I like, oh, I'm never coming back here. You
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah,
I like the vanilla bean, like the little
yeah. That's
drink.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
was
drink.
good. But the coffee wise, like I'd rather just make it at home.
Yeah, I'm not a big coffee spender or just a coffee drinker myself, but maybe for a treat, I'd go to Starbucks. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. Like the biggest one in the world. Why here? You'd think they make it like in Seattle where it all started.
What else started?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're
Well,
making it
maybe
here.
the market's big here too. I mean, I guess if I'm a big company and I'm trying to attract more fan base, I probably started in New York or Chicago.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. We're actually the third
yeah.
largest media.
Yeah, third largest market now.
Yeah,
There's like New York and then Los Angeles at some point over past Chicago.
yeah.
Chicago, and then the fourth one. Do you know the fourth one?
No idea.
It's Houston.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's Houston.
I
So
would say
Houston's
like
the next one.
Miami or
Yeah, I think Miami's up there too.
yeah.
But the fourth one is actually Houston. So if you're making any big investments or anything, check out anything in
Houston?
Houston. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the fourth largest population
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
in the U.S.
Is that like
And big-
just
I haven't been there
city-wise?
yet, but
No.
yeah,
I've been to Texas once, and it's because their flight got delayed. So they're like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
can."
Well, actually, I did been yeah, I've been to Houston, just their airport, because it was like a connecting flight.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't seen much of this at all. The
Oh,
city.
it's cowboy country. Well, we
Oh
were in
yeah.
Dallas. We were in
Oh,
Dallas. Yeah,
Dallas.
we were
Yeah.
at the Frankfurt
Yeah.
airport, and it was just everybody had a cowboy hat on. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of
it's like a
interesting.
different country.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But like I like that. I like when I go to different places and meet different people and you see how maybe their geological like position could
Yeah,
change everything from
exactly.
what you wear, how you talk, who you are. It's kind of interesting to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
think that's what thinking about like traveling,
mhm.
that's one of the benefits of being in the US because you do see a lot of these cultures already embedded in the American society that I guess if you were supposed to go like you don't have to learn a different language when you go to places like Texas or LA or
Yeah.
Miami or Alaska or Seattle. But you can definitely see the differences in their architecture and the way that they do things. The slang is different, right?
Yeah,
Products are
it's definitely
different. You
yeah.
have like a Jewel Osco here, and you have like a Ralph's in LA.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's similarities and differences too, and you kind of appreciate the differences, especially since you don't have to adjust so much
Yeah.
when you go to different parts of the U.S.
Well, I was telling my girlfriend because every year we go on a vacation
Cool, cool.
and
Yeah, I watched your podcast about Cancun, was
Cancun,
it?
yeah,
Yeah, Cancun.
Cancun. That was fun. But again, in Mexico, they're speaking Spanish. So like I told her we should go somewhere where they don't speak our language, like
So you
Italy
actually
or
feel like you're on
yeah, you're on
vacation.
vacation or something. Like you're a different world.
Yeah.
I told her I want to go to what's that place? It's Thailand, I
Uh
think,
huh. Okay.
or Italy. Like Rome would
Uh
be
huh.
one of my top for next year.
Wow, for next year already.
Yeah, yeah. We started like saving and planning the whole thing like now
Yeah,
around
yeah.
this time, and
That's good. That's good.
usually she picks, which is kind of like unfair because I'm like, where do you want to go? And then she's like, I'll pick where we go. I'm like, oh, I want to go here, but
Yeah. Well,
she
take turns, I
yeah.
suppose.
That's
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
like okay, so I'm picking this year, and it's either Rome or we're gonna go to just the flight is so long. It's 33 hours to get
Seriously, 33 hours?
to yeah to like Bangkok or somewhere like that. 33 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you stop over? Do you like
I think you stop in New York and then from New York you take one to like Germany
Oh,
and
okay.
Germany then you go there.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's quite an adventure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think of Thailand. I think of like all the statues, the giant statues that's within the nature or the temples,
Those are
jungle like
pretty cool.
in
Yeah.
the jungle and kind of things.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't been there, but I know
No.
like like relatives have been there and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's either that or Rome. I've always the Roman and like the Greek god kind of things
Yeah,
like
like the
well that's Greece.
Colosseum.
Yeah, that's Greece,
That's
but like
Greece. Yeah,
yeah, but
but
like
there's some influence on that
yeah.
too.
Yeah. To go see all that would be super interesting to me.
All
Yeah.
right, so hopefully next time I'm back in the show, if you would have
Yes,
me
I
back,
will. Yeah, thank you.
um,
Thank you for coming. I
yeah, hopefully the
appreciate it.
Bears would have won at least
Yeah.
something. But yeah, thanks, man. I had such a great time here at Isn't It Crazy
Podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
I think I had a pretty crazy time
Yeah.
connecting with you and
um,
hopefully your viewers as well.
yeah, well thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I think more people should do what you did. Like reach out and be like, "Listen, I want to talk about this and that."
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
definitely.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
having different, your guests, all the guests you're gonna have are different viewpoints.
Yes.
I think someone might benefit from what they're talking about.
Yeah, well,
Um,
the way this one went, it definitely motivated me to try to get more people in here cuz I learned a couple things and I thought it was a great conversation. So,
Thank you.
I'm definitely thank you for
Likewise.
the yeah, thank you for the
Likewise.
motivation. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So I guess if anybody would like to visit my podcast
yes.
at the Ralph Benedict Experience, available at wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Just come check me out and see if you like my content.
I'll definitely check it out and you guys should too. I think this was a good conversation, so I can't wait to hear what you have to say about different topics.
Thank you,
So,
man.
thank you for being here and thank you guys for watching and if you guys disagreed or agreed with anything we talked about on this podcast, comment down below and thank you for watching. All right, bye everybody. And that's it.